Hey everybody, what's going on? It's the Broke Capitalist coming at you, and I wanted to just get one in real quick today. I've been watching some of these hearings in these various states about the election and proprieties, and honestly, sometimes I think I'm watching a Saturday Night Live skit, and especially this one in Georgia where you probably heard about it. I don't know if you've seen it, but you can actually see the actual video in, online where you have people in a room and then you see someone telling people you need to leave. They leave. The people who left sign affidavits stating they were told to leave. Then after they left, those who remained in the room pulled out ballots of black cases from under tables and started feeding them through machines. What is crazy is not that, because that's just okay. That's something's wrong. Something's not right there. I don't care if you're a Biden supporter, Trump supporter, whatever. That ain't. Come on, something ain't right. But the fact that you got these Democrats, like, no, this has been debunked. It reminds me of that, I think it was Raw with Eddie Murphy when he got caught by his girlfriend and he was like, wasn't me. She's like, but I saw you. Wasn't me. I got you on film. Wasn't me. Man, these people are, I don't know, man, what reality we have stumbled across. But when video evidence is being debunked immediately before anybody has seen the video evidence. And then in Michigan, man, you got this lady who, I've been a black lady. Well, I'm a black lady. I've lived in Michigan I lived in Detroit for 62 years, blah, 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 right? And she's just astonished. She can't believe that there will be any improprieties in the election in Detroit. It's impossible. How dare you? Where's she been? She been there 62 years. She knows that there's been some improprieties in Detroit politics. And ironically or coincidentally, y'all hear me talking about my book, right? So Our Two Societies. In this book, I talk about two of my really good friends who probably gonna hate me for saying this, but I ain't gonna put them on blast too much. But in my book, my memoir, I mentioned two friends. One, I ain't gonna do it. But one, initials MG, is currently serving time in a federal prison for kickbacks. He was a politician. He was in politics. Another friend of mine from junior high, who was the cousin of former Mayor Kwame, who's currently doing time, she got busted for improprieties. Now, this is just me. I know these people. So the very fact that they're like so adamant that there's nothing to see here. What's going on? But I can't believe you racist people are bad. Should tell you something. But other than that, I wanted to talk about this here. So Hillbilly Elegy, I mentioned it before. I mentioned it, I think, in the last video, and I mentioned it a couple of months back. I want to point out the audience score versus the critics score. The critics gave it a 25. Now, I read this book when I was during the editing phase of my book, this book, and there's a lot of similarities there. I'm not, forget it. It's a punk. It's a whatever. I'm promoting myself or whatever, but there's a lot of similarities there in that you got a kid who grew up poor, ended up going to law school. In between that, and J.D. Vance definitely went to a more prestigious law school. He went to Yale, so you can't get too much better than that as far as going to law school. Now, law school I went to is not in that tier. But here's the thing. It's a good story. The book is a good story. I mean, it's well written. It's a page turner. It was #1 bestseller. This is pre-Trump, when I guess you were allowed to tell stories like this. But they made a movie out of it, and lo and behold, the critics don't like it. Why is that? Because it goes against the narrative. What narrative? Oh, this is the first time to your channel? I mean, to the channel. The narrative is you can only be a victim if you're a minority. If you're white and you grew up poor and you had bad parents, that don't fit the narrative. What are you doing? You're gonna get crucified, which, okay, 25% on Rotten Tomatoes. Don't fit the narrative, man. I want to get this point across as much as I can. We spend a lot of time blaming each other, you know, those black people this, these white people that. Man, we're all living in this reality that's been created by media, right? And that reality is that if you're black and you pull yourself up from your bootstraps, you're not really black. If you're poor and white, who cares about you? You don't exist. You're a unicorn. A poor white person who grew up in Appalachia is a unicorn, just like a black person who went to law school is a unicorn. Something wrong with that reality, y'all. And as far as law school is concerned, one of my favorite stories, I'm trying to keep this short, or one of my, so the guy who created Hillbilly Elegy is a true story by J.D. Vance. Van Jones from CNN also went to law school. And one of the things, he said something one day that made me want to throw a brick through my TV. He said that he was in law school and he found out subsequently that students were being invited to professors' homes for dinners and just talk shop about law and stuff like that. And he didn't get invited. And therefore, he equated that as a type of racism. The fact that he didn't know about that stuff until after. And I'm like, I went to law school too, bruh. I got invited. Maybe they just didn't like you. Or maybe you just missed the memo. Why does it have to be racism? But he gets to go on national TV and tote this story of woe, of victimization, because it fits the narrative. And that narrative is everywhere. Like I say, it's like The Force. We're going to go to Hidden Figures. You guys have heard me complain about this. Great movie. But in the movie, they show Kevin Costner's character going to this colors-only bathroom, taking the sign down, talking about, we're not going to take this anymore. You, black woman, you're going to be able to use any bathroom in NASA, right? It never happened. The real woman was interviewed and said, I don't know why they put that in there. That never happened. So why did Hollywood take that power from her agency to make the choice to say, look, I'm working in NASA. I'm sending people to the moon. I ain't going to no colored bathroom. I'm going to the bathroom around the corner. Why'd they take that agency away from her and give it to the white character played by Kevin Costner? Because it fits the narrative, right? White folks, black folks are victims, and you get some benevolent white superhero to come in and save the day. This narrative is no good, y'all. And then, little fires everywhere. Kerry Washington's character in this book, again, national bestseller, whatever, great book. Kerry Washington's character wasn't black. So when you put a black SJW type woman in this role, it changes the whole like feel of it. You know, when I started watching this, I was like, where's all this animosity coming from? The little white woman just trying to help the black woman. Cut it off, had to go investigate. Lo and behold, Kerry Washington's character is not black, so that just changed the whole feel of the movie. Again, the narrative, man, we have to be conscious of that. Now, I'm going to go into the weeds here, but the inequality of the human race. Now, those who are deep in the racism, they might bring this book up and tell you how racist white people have been And, you know, this guy was down with the eugenics program, and he believed that, you know, there was blacks, whites, and yellows, whatever. But you will never hear about the rebuttal of this book, The Equality of Human Races, written by Anton Furman, right? Never seen it, never heard about it. This is an anthropologist from Haiti, written in 1855. This dude he was more educated than like 12 people. Seriously, in 1855, this book is like 500 pages, 4 font. Seriously. I mean, he goes and debunks this book, period. I mean, that's debunked, but you never hear about that. So I grew up all my life hearing about this book because it fits the narrative. White men are evil, black people are victims, right? And if you don't know what anthropology is, here it is. But I'm gonna leave you there with that thought. Right? But yeah, if it doesn't fit the narrative, you're not gonna hear about it. So you need to seek it out. And here's a first step: 10-cent bill. And this is about a black guy who went with his master, this is during the Civil War, to the war and supported his master as a Confederate soldier or officer. 10-cent bill. Black guy went on to be a very successful capitalist. Then you got this guy, don't ask me how to pronounce his name, went from slave to presenting his case to the Queen of England, right? Saw it all from Africa, the slave ship, being a slave, being free, being an abolitionist, all that. This dude is not a victim. He was a victim of circumstance that he overcame and did more than all of us, right? Well, most of us under those circumstances. This dude too. He may have been a victim of slavery, but he didn't see himself as a victim. So you don't get to hear about that. But hopefully you come back to the channel, The Broke Capitalist, and we can explore victory instead of victimization amongst Americans, black, white, and other. Have a good weekend, y'all. Hope you got something out of this. Please like, share, and subscribe. For the past, I don't know, 2 months, I've been stuck at 685 subscribers. Oh, okay, I went from 681 to 684 for a little while. Now I'm at 685. I think I'm gonna end up creating more videos than subscribers. But anyway, like, share, subscribe. Peace. I hope you're having a good weekend. I'm out.